Hey everybody, it's ready from the weather forecast, and tonight I'm going to be doing a video on what is soon to be Tropical Storm Eta and what could be potentially Hurricane Eta again. So without further ado, let's get started. We can see here on the 10 p.m. advisory that Tropical Depression Eta is a 35-mile-per-hour storm moving northeast at 12 miles per hour. It's steadily been moving eastward today, and we can see it's going to make a landfall projected in Cuba Sunday morning. So let's take a look at what is going on right now with it. We can see convective blow up recently tonight over the center, but it doesn't have much of a spin to it yet. And until it does, I'm going to continue to say that I don't like the odds of this thing becoming a powerful hurricane. That doesn't mean it's going. That's not going to happen, as shear is forecasted to subside a little bit, as forecasted to move out a little bit more, as the LLC moving a little bit slower than the shear will be, obviously. That's just the simple way to put it, and I could go a little bit further, but for my simple viewers, that's the best way to put it. Will be less shear in the upcoming days. Not a lot, but a little bit less, and that will give the storm a chance to intensify some. But you can see the different, you can see the rotation definitely, though, as the outflow of the convection is pushing northeast, and you can see the clouds spinning counterclockwise, allowing for that nice natural tropical cyclone spin that we see. Deep cloud tops, minus 80, 85 degrees Celsius, currently blossoming, and this should allow for to be Tropical Storm Eta in the next advisory. I would be surprised. They had wind supportive earlier today in recon that they decided not to go with, and if I pull those up, we can see some of these winds here, anywhere from 35 to 40 knots in the SFMR, and then National Hurricane Center concluded that they weren't supportive of and did not match the flight level winds enough to go along with what it could be a tropical storm. Take a look here at the Earth Node presentation, and we can see there's some multiple spins around here, which is normal with a CAG or a Central American gyre. It's just not a confined tight spin yet. There's multiple areas of spin. One, if I right there, if you can see with the little marker, and there's the obvious one right there, and maybe even a little bit right here, and something right there as well. So there's just a lot of broad spinning around going on. With the Central American gyre, that what was Major Hurricane Eta got displaced and just messed up, and so luckily for the mountainous terrain of Honduras and Nicaragua, or else this could be a much worse situation for Cuba and South Florida. But we'll quickly shift here to what the impacts are going to be. Let's talk about storm surge. I think this is not being talked about enough. We can see here the potential for at least 2 to 3 feet of storm surge. I think that risk is going to rise as they forecast their storm surge for what the forecast is, a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm. So yes, I'm buying in on the lower side, but I still think this thing is going to have a shot to make a run for a hurricane, or it's going to have a shot to run. It's going to have a shot to reach hurricane status. And so I would expect North Miami Beach to Marco Island, I would expect anywhere from 2 to 4 feet and potentially more. So not by a lot. I don't think there will be more than 5 feet of storm surge here, which is a lot more significant than 2 feet, don't get me wrong. But I think your best bet is for 2 to 4 feet of storm surge here for many of these places, and potentially isolated amounts of more storm surge inundation for some places. But you can see here, why aren't the reds lighting up along the west coast, even though it's supposed to track pretty close? And why are the reds going all the way up the east coast for the storm surge? Well, the wind field is supposed to be pretty broad to the north, as it's forecast to be a little bit displaced because of the shear, and that's going to allow for the wind field to be a little displaced as well in north of the center. So that's going to allow for winds to flow onshore and push that water onshore, and allow for an increase in water levels. But on the west coast of Florida, what it's actually going to do is push the water out. So we'll probably be in negative storm surge values for many regions of the coast, and potentially for multiple days could be negative values, which is, I guess, is not really a bad thing, a good thing, I guess. You'd rather have it be normal, I'm guessing, but rather not be in a storm surge area zone. So let's take a look at rainfall. I think this is being a little bit even underdone. I think I know you tend to hear me say that a lot, but it's happened this hurricane season. Everything has exceeded expectations, and I've been trying to key in on that. There's been a lot of exceeding expectations on storms this year, and this is another one that I think is going to exceed expectations, but not by a lot. Not by a lot, really. We're talking 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm in the forecast. If 10 miles an hour is not a big difference, okay? It will be a big difference for some, but the main threat is for rainfall here. Okay, it's rainfall for 100% for sure. I think there's a threat for 8 to 12 inches of rainfall in South Florida, and I wouldn't be surprised if some places saw up to 20 inches of rain. There's going to be a lot of rainfall dumped from the system in Cuba. Cuba could see 6 to 10 inches of rain. Grand Cayman Island is going to see a lot of rain. Grand Cayman Islands are going to see a lot of rain, not just one island. There's more than one island, even though it may not look like it. Very small. Jamaica, that is one island. They are going to see a lot of rainfall as well, potentially as much as 10 inches of rainfall. Belize seeing rainfall, but maybe, am I wrong? Let me go back to the current. I'm going to have to load it again. No, Belize is done. That's good news. Honduras, looks like you got some lingering rainfall going on. Sorry, I should have checked before I misspoke there. But Honduras, maybe some scattered thunderstorms in the northern part of the country, but otherwise you're all wrapped up. We did have that convective burst that I mentioned tonight on my Twitter feed that did concern me a little bit. Luckily, that is still not going, although that likely did dump some more unneeded rainfall. Just a devastating situation. If you feel you need support, go online. There's plenty of ways you can look to donate. The death toll is sadly rising, and it's going to surpass 200 people likely. It's in the hundreds, and in the upcoming days, if it were to get into the thousands, I guess I wouldn't be shocked to say. But hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully not too many people are going to lose their life. But many people are stranded, so it's a sad thing. And we'll get the official. One thing I haven't shown you is the tracking map here for the exact. We can see here 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm forecasted to be anywhere from Miami to just south of the Florida Keys. So we noticed in the models there's a little bit of disagreement. Some want to just take this straight away and move directly past Cuba, right, and then take it this way. But then some models want to take it that way. Then, if you can see where the pointer is pointing to here, but other models want to take it just like the National Hurricane Center track is, which is forecasted to be a mid-grade tropical storm, a couple hundred miles off the Florida coast at that point. So, how long does it meander over South Florida? And that can make a significant difference on the rainfall totals, and also for Central Florida as well. Central Florida could see as much as 5 to 8 inches of rainfall in Central Florida. So that's nothing to sleep on. So we got to be we got to start preparing. If you live in South Florida, you need to make preparations straight away. You live on the coast, you need to prepare for significant storm surge in excess of 3+ feet. You need to prepare for that anywhere really along the southeast Florida coast. You need to prepare for more than 3 feet of storm surge, and up along the central eastern coast of Florida and even the northeast coast of Florida, you need to prepare for 1 to 3 feet of storm surge as well. So do whatever you have to do to prepare for that. In the southwestern coast of Florida, you also need to prepare for 2 to 3 feet of storm surge as well. And isolated areas could see up to 4 feet potentially. So that's what you need to prepare for as of right now. And again, I say exact numbers, they can change. Okay, they're not set in stone. So any exact number I say is a pretty good estimate in my opinion, but you're going to want to go to the National Hurricane Center and your local weather office to get the exact and most official data. Uh, yeah, that's just going to about do it for me. I hope you all stay safe, and hopefully this hurricane season's almost over. There is another area I'm watching for subtropical development at the National Hurricane Center highlighted next week. I haven't looked too much into it. I'll probably take a better look at it later tonight and see if there's any model support for it. Um, but yeah, stay safe, South Florida. Don't take this light. This has the potential to be a devastating flood event. It likely won't be, but it has the potential to be in the worst case scenario, which could be a widespread 15 to 25 inches of rainfall in the worst case scenario. Luckily, it's not looking like that. A more reasonable worst case scenario would be 10 to 20 inches across South Florida. So prepare for 10 to 20 inches of rainfall, and hope for that 6 to 12 inches of rainfall that's expected. That's going to do it for me. I hope you all have a good night.